Classic Games.
We were like the police of the township, which would look after our people, you know, and say enough is enough. We're tired of such and such and such. So, you know, we created the SUD, we used to call it SDU at that moment, which we created from the ANC structures that were created that we sat down and say, we need to fight this. We fought until we were tired. And we decided, no, we need to make peace between the two factions and the gangsters. So this thing must come to an end. That's how Phillies Games was started, through a game of football. It really changed the dynamics. I'd be lying to you if I tell you I knew then what I was doing. I never knew. But every year, it took a different direction, which on all these directions, there were benefits to the community, which we could bring in people that will put a stall. There would be those who would win a prize. There would be a player that would be identified. And later, I realized that we even could could give platform to PROs, you know, and I started realizing Phillies Games is a big thing.
We a sanitation company, manufacturing and suppliers, and we've been involved in rural school sanitation for the last 25, 27 years, and it's an honor to have met Philly approximately 12 years ago, and we spoke about how we could as a company get involved and put back something into the community that we service. And we, as I say, we supply a dry sanitation system, and Philly identified Limpopo as a province to start with. And about 7 years ago, we held our first games in Polokwane. So it was a great honor for us. And so it's all about putting back into the community who we supply to, and getting to know our community better.
You know, the boys in the marketing space would come to me and say, you are sitting with a gold here, but you don't know how to. And I would say, because I don't know how, do you help me? Come in and help me. Let's make it for our community. Then they taught me value of how sponsors can come in and activate, you know, pouring rights. I never knew about those things. Exclusivity of that, I never knew. And with that, you know, it was this football thing. It was this thing that made peace. But today, it's one of the things that makes me proud and my team.
I've been selling the Phillies game for more than 5 years. And the fact that I've been coming back at the games can only mean that it has benefited me significantly. And it has afforded me an opportunity to sustain my brand and to make money to start businesses, to sustain their businesses. So it's a very good opportunities. There are very good opportunities in the Finnish games as businessmen and as vendors. Well, I'm very, very, very active on social media. So I always call my stall has a name, and I think it's the only tent that has a name. Yes, I call it Tent Yotumo at the Phillies game. So every year, just prior to the Phillies game, I make sure that I market my store. I put it on social media. I let people know that I'll be selling. So they look forward to come to the Phillies game and to my stand.
One thing about Phillies games is it's preparing you to the PSL. Phillies games, NFD and Phillies games, good coaches will tell you that if we want to acid test you, we want to see you play at the Phillies games, then we can identify you properly. There's pressure, there's a crowd pressure. It's not easy. If you are not exposed to the pressure of the crowd.
The fact that the games are broadcast on SuperSport live, it means a lot. It's a motivation by itself, not only to me. Yes, I've been there before, I've played on TV, but also to the young up-and-coming players, to also our coaches. I think it gives you much courage in order for you to go all out and put effort in every single minute and in everything that you do, so that you'll be able to be spotted and get an opportunity to go forward, because there's much more initiatives going forward to get teams. Hence I've said that exposure, much better exposure, because it's on TV, you know. So yeah, it gives opportunity to many, and it's a great one.
Some of these kids, it's just the discipline is very important. The self-discipline of players. If they can stop the alcohol, there's good talent in this country. But the focus is just a bit wrong, which as elders we need to deal with those issues, but we need to deal with them at the very low age, which that's what Phillies Games is doing with the academy with Mr. Latrobe there. You know, we want to bring in structures where they need to be fed with good information from a very early age. I think a good one is to teach these kids, and their role models, they are the people that needs to be told some of a lesson. Alcohol, you know, these kind of things. Alcohol, smoking, all these things. We need to teach these kids a good thing which they can produce. South Africa has got good talent.
As a supplier, we get involved, but we never meet the actual communities, or very rarely. And you look at all the talent within these communities, and it was an ideal match for us. It involves schools, kids, Department of Education, and in a province that we value strongly. So 7 years ago, Phillies Back to School game was launched, and we've sponsored it since then. And we hope for the foreseeable future, and it just grows and grows. So much so that we 2 years ago, we introduced, to involve our female ladies in the communities, young ladies in the communities, we started the netball part of it, which has been a great success. So we run it concurrently. The soccer tournament, we have under 13, the juniors, and then we go into the seniors. It starts on a Thursday. It's typically held over Easter weekend, the long weekend. Unfortunately, this year, due to COVID, it was postponed, and we're looking forward to September, all things being equal, that we can hold it.
We must never take it away from the team of these kids that I'm working with. They're on point. Remember, sponsors, they come there wearing some sporty, they sit in the crowd, hiding themselves. They are looking at the structure. How do you behave? How do you handle things? How? These kids are doing a very good job, which it attracts these people to come and say, I want to be part of this. This thing is a good thing. I never promise somebody 10,000 and give him 5,000, which that is our biggest catch. We started from where we started. We are paying 200,000. When I said 200,000 3 years ago, nobody believed that money will. I said, but even 50,000 then, nobody has come to us and say, I was never paid money. We never had a bad publicity. My plan and the team that I work with is to put a proper structure where we can export good talent.
Kasike.